Rachel here from Beads by Verchiel, bringing you Thursday tutorial time. How are you all? Hope you're all well. As always, please do give me a big fat thumbs up and pop me a note in the comments so I know you were present with me. So I'm just going to wait for you all to hop on. Oh, there we go. Hello, Francis. Hello, Lydia. Lydia says, hi, I'm here. Do you know what? The reason why I'm a little bit late is I sat tagging you all in the live. I was watching a family member do a live. She's recently selling Body Shop products. I thought that's a really good idea because it sends an automatic reminder. So anyway, I tagged you all. And then it bounced back and said I hadn't got permissions to tag you. So it's all a learning curve. But it's good that you didn't all need tagging anyway. You're all here. Hello, Trisha. Hi, Janet. Hi, Deb. Hi, Nora. What you all been up to then? Have you all been keeping busy? So whilst you're typing in and telling me what you're up to, let me show you what we're going to be doing this week. So if you missed last week's is now on YouTube. So most of them I'm just popping straight on YouTube with a little screen on there that said if you want to miss out all of the chat, you can skip along into 12 minutes or whatever to go straight into the tutorial, so you can cut out all the chat. Here we go. That was last week's tutorial, which was on just doing a basic tree of life, learning it from scratch. We've got a few more people. Chris Fitter, that's my mum. Hi, mum. Hi, Francis. Hi, Linda. Hello, Jane. So Janet's been working this week, but she's done some bead embroidery. Janet does some beautiful bead embroidery work. And do keep all of your shares in the September thread. September? Where have I got that from? What month is it? It's March. Please keep... I'd have to wait a while for that, wouldn't I? Please keep your pictures coming in the March thread. It doesn't have to be jewellery. It can be anything arty. We love to see it all. So anyway, I was going to show you what we're going to be doing. I am going to split this into a couple of parts because I don't want a major overwhelm. So anyway, this is the Suncatcher. So we've got lots of different components to it. So what I propose to do today is this part here, or at least start that part, and then we can do the add-ons next week. Hello, hello Annette, good to have you in the thread. I'm not sure if you've joined us on a live before. It's lovely to have you. So that one is, oh, that's a bit wonky donkey, isn't it? That one is in fluorite. It's got a price tag on that one. So that's a little bit more gentle. Deb's been making Tree of Lives. Brilliant. Mum says beautiful. Oh, thanks, Mum. That one, that's Jasper. I love that one. I love them all, but do you find certain times I'm attracted to one colour and then another time I'm attracted to another colour, but I just really like the feel of that. Deb said she can't wait to be able to do this. Hello, Betty. It's great to have you. So, whilst you're all hopping on as well, just a reminder to put a note in the comments and give me a thumbs up at the top, because after the live, I then go and jot all your names down, put them in my random wheel spinner, and then announce the winner of the giveaway. So we've had quite a few giveaways this week, because we've had the naming of the hares as well. A couple of you that are in the thread actually won that. I think it was Janet, Annette. I had the other name a moment ago. Was it Linda? I think it was Linda. So apologies if I've got the names wrong. But anyway, let's talk about material. So in the thread, you can buy 1.2mm wire, and that's for the base. You can work with anything really, but I wouldn't work with anything less than 1, because what will happen is when you're wire wrapping, it will go out of shape. 0.4mm wire, that's to do the branches and the outlining. So those are £2.15 per reel. I've also got just some little, I suppose, Suncatcher starters. There's 1 metre of the thick wire and 6 metres of the fine wire. I think it's £2.50. It should be enough to do 2 for you. The other thing that I've got as well is I've still got some of the gemstone chips. So you've got Appetite, which is a purple one, Unikite, that is a natural agate, jasper, no it's not jasper, tiger's eye, turquoise and garnet. Some of them are sort of limited stocks on those. Annette, oh hello Anne, it's good to have you in the thread. Annette said she has been crocheting a baby blanket. Oh gorgeous, please share it in the March Makes. Janet got her prize today, fantastic. Deb said 1mm was hard to keep in shape. Yeah, it can be hard, especially if your hands are getting warm as well. Annette received her prize today, wonderful. Oh, Betty, yeah, we're on the same thread there, aren't we? Will you post the finished blanket into the page to let us see, says Betty. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Lydia is trying to make a double flat spiral bracelet, and it's bloody hard work. It sounds it. A double one, wow. Again, let's see the results. So, tools. I think we've talked through everything else. Again, you can use seed beads with these. I've used size 8 or size 6 seed beads on the outside of them. In terms of tools, well, I am using a rolling pin, okay, because I want something a bit bigger and a bit sturdier for the Suncatcher. As we went through last week, ideally a nylon tipped hammer. I think I've got 2 of these left in the thread. If you've got a rubber mallet, that will do for now, you know. Side cutters, bent nose or chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and ideally some nylon pliers, so they're a bit like hair straighteners. So what I propose to do is take you right from scratch. So although we learned how to make the tree last week, I appreciate that not everybody was able to watch that tutorial. So we're going to start from scratch. I am just gonna, now, I know what I meant to say. These little clamps are back in Aldi again at the moment, because, and they're less than a tenner. I don't know if they're still there, but I was looking the end of last week, and they're great for holding, you know, if you want hands-free. I've also got a PDF as well on this. You're just looking at my blouse at the moment, aren't you? So there we go. Let's just zoom in a wee bit. Now, to begin with, we're going to cut 20 centimetres. And then we're going to, this is the 1.25 wire, so we're going to wrap it around so it hugs around there. Let's just turn that to the side slightly. Okie dokers. So with your bent nose or chain nose pliers, turn one of the sides up. Let's just so you can see that. And then this one that's still horizontal is we're going to wrap it around this one. Now this is probably the trickiest part because the wire is so thick. So just take your time in actually getting this. Some people, I know June suggested last week that she likes to use her pliers, so I think that, oh no, not for me, mine's going out of shape there. As you can see, I think this is the hardest part. Maybe I should have just manipulated the wire and warmed it up in my hands a little bit first, because heating the wire will make it a little bit more malleable, but equally if you handle it too much it will go even more rigid. Right, so there we've got a couple of wire wraps on there. Now while it's on there, we're going to actually shape it and keep going round. I wouldn't recommend hammering this part here, and what you might also want to do is take it off and actually hammer it flat as well. So if you imagine, you can use like a little coaster, have this bit overhanging, and it just flattens it a little bit more. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more in a second, but I just wanted you to see everything. What I'm just doing there is squeezing that. Now I am going to trim it down so that it's just over a centimetre tail. Hold the top so it doesn't take a billy whiz over the other side of the room or in anybody's eyes. Turn that at a right angle. I'm just, there we go, you can see that now. Okay, then get your round nose pliers. Make sure it's flush at the side, you've got no excess sticking out, and turn that. So that's like your little connecting part. What I would do with this little excess bit that sticks up, flat part of the cutters against there and trim, and then ease this round. Now, as I mentioned last week, if you're not really very used to working with wire, you might want to start with copper, because you don't take any of the surface off. Now say you've done that and you've put it out of shape, pop it back on the item that you were shaping and give it another little hammer. Now, two things, we hammer for two reasons. One is to shape it, two is to work harden. So when you hammer metal, it basically becomes stiffer and harder. Okay. No rude comments, ladies and gents. Right, let's zoom in now. Okie dokes. Now, what we are going to be doing is we are going to make the seed bead outline. Now, just to say that obviously this is the size with using, where am I going with this? This is the size using the wooden rolling pin. But if you want to go bigger, you'd need a different item, perhaps even like a bangle mandrel. I can't think of anything, any sort of pots or something like that you've got at home. So you have your 0.4mm wire, and I'd suggest having over a metre. And what I'm going to show you as well is how to attach fresh wire. So hopefully you can see that all okay. There we go. Just take you back a little bit. So what you want to do is anchor it. So decide which is your front, which is your back. Now this isn't perfectly shaped, but the good thing is that beads are going to cover it. So I'm going to have a tail. I'm going to put my thumb, my non-dominant thumb, under that, and I'm also going to just wrap it underneath those two wide wrap loops as well. So I'm going over to the other side now. I'm going to add a bead. Now these are size 8 Czechoslovakian seed beads. I'm going to lay it on the side and I'm going to put my non-dominant hand on it to sturdy it and do one full wrap like that. So it sits on the outside. I'm threading on another one. Now, I did try and be a bit clever earlier on, and it really didn't work at all. I tried to thread on lots of beads at the same time and try and filter it on, but honestly, it's such a big faff, it really wasn't worth it. It didn't achieve anything at all. So from my point of view, I'm sticking with one at a time. But if you come up with, you know, something that works well for you, then, you know, do either share with us. Okay, so it's quite simple, but I'm not going to force you to watch me thread this whole thing, because I'll be honest with you, it didn't take me that long, but particularly if you've never done it before, it can be a little bit time consuming. But just to say, you could use smaller seed beads or bigger seed beads, you know, whatever you've got in your stash really. So you get the gist of that. It's pretty sturdy and it just outlines it. So I'm going to trim that off because I'm going to be really frugal and use the rest of that wire. Here's one I prepared earlier. So I've got my, these are Terra Intensive Lime, and I've just done my last one, and I've done one full wire wrap. So to join new wire, I'm going to have a tail, and I'm going to follow the same direction and just do one wire wrap. I'm going to leave the tails for now. Oh, sorry, I'm out of view there. And just carry on as normal. Now, it might be a little bit, you know, it might slide a bit, but once you've actually filled it up, sorry, I'm just keeping my eye to make sure I'm not going off camera. Right, so that's that way. So all I'm doing is a totally, I suppose it's almost 1.5 wraps. Oops. Oh, that's taken flight. Honestly, I could fill a bag, I think, with the amount of seed beads that have bounced onto my floor. And I can't I can't seem to find half of them. Right, nearly there. But all this is it really acts as a frame and a decorative piece. And then now the one that we did, the Tree of Life that we did last week, was kind of quite symmetrical really. The one that we're going to do this week is more on its side, but it's just really so that I can help you develop your techniques and different ways of actually doing it. But as before, if you're new to watching the videos, just pop a comment in the thread if you've got any questions. You're all a super group of people, and I know even if I don't manage to catch up with you on it, I know people will give you any tips along the way. There we go. It's not that neat, I'll be honest with you, because I'm doing it live. I'm always conscious of, I suppose I shouldn't speed it really, but I'm always conscious of it being a bit boring, just watching bits. for you guys. Right, there's one that's gone a bit wonky donkey there, but you get the gist. So there we go. You've added a new wire in. It's not so important about having a front and a back. I'm going to trim that wire and then just ease that round so you've got no loose edges. It's not so important to have a front and a back because this is going to be a hanging rather than a piece of jewellery. And with these, I tend to lift these up so I can get in really nice and close, trim those off, and then, alright, so there we go, you've got your little outline. Now, if you wanted to use a bangle, an old bangle perhaps, to save yourself time, you could just use the same technique and just add a little bit of ribbon on there if you wanted to. So that's just a little hack of how to save a little bit of time. Now, as I did last week, I am going to try as I can to follow the instructions. My own instructions for a change, because if you do get the instructions, at least we're singing from the same hymn sheet. So I am now going to actually cut items for the branches. So my recommendation really is to cut 7 25cm lengths of 0.4 mil. Now, if you did take, excuse me while I'm just trimming, if you did buy the PDF, there's full photograph and full written instructions. You can either order it from my website or order it from here. Right, so how many have I got? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, I will be right with you. I am just getting myself organised. Right, so we are going to start actually in the middle bit. So I'm going to bend these in half. So you've got both ends together. And first of all, we're just going to find the halfway point, which is there. And then we're going to twist. So get these together, pop your finger in the middle. Now this is going to be quite random. Okay, and then we're going to work our way round. So if I just show you this one, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So if you look at this one, this is where we're aiming. So I'm going to bring it over to the side. So the next one I'm going to do is a couple of seed beads down. So again, I'm going to fold it in half. So what you've got to remember really with the tree of life is no two are going to be the same. So hold that there. And twist. So you just want a couple of centimetres really of the twisting. And really you're going to need more as the further you go away. I'm just really comparing it to this one here. But do share in the thread if you've made a tree of life so far, and let us know what materials did you use for your tree, and how did you find it? Did you find anything difficult in there? There's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm just trying not to put this out of shape. This is the one we want a wee bit longer. You don't have to have it quite as, there we go. So that's where we're at the moment. So we've got one in the middle, one right over there. And then we want to build some over this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So bend it in half. And again, do it at another random point. I have to apologise because I haven't done any, I haven't scooted along and done any more bits for this. So we will see how we go for time. But what I did do for this week's is I did put an hour for this tutorial. And then, so we're just making like little hairpins. And then we're going to go up this side. I know you all said that you really liked the heart tree of life. So if we haven't exhausted all your energies on the tree of life, do let me know, because I'm more than happy to actually do that tutorial. Oh no, I've got 2 more to go. I was getting all excited then. I might actually just leave it at that though, if I'm honest, because just from a speed point of view. And what I'm doing is these are getting a little bit shorter. So I think I'm kind of okay with that. So this is that one. Let me just turn it around so that you can see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pinch them all together and actually make this bit here. So I'm going to bring it to this left side. So we're going to pinch those all together and squeeze and twist. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to twist it too high, because otherwise you won't give yourself any room for the branches. Now before we do any more, like last week, I am going to create movement in these however you fancy it. All right, so obviously you could fill it up more if you want to. And now what we're going to start to do, let's just turn this round, is we're going to actually start filling. And what you start doing is actually twisting out a couple of branches together. So first of all, I'm going to bring 2 out. And you don't need too many twists on that one, because otherwise you won't leave yourself with a great deal of space. So I am just going to grab some Unikite. I'm not sure how this combo is going to work, but you know, we'll have to see. At least you can certainly see what I'm doing, can't you? So I'm going to add the gemstone chips. Like I mentioned last week, it really is quite a good idea to have some smaller seed beads to fill in gaps. So I'm pulling that in, so I'm adding 2, and let's just bring that out of the way. And I'm just wrapping that in between. Now I'm going to add some more on the second one. But as we mentioned last week, in my wisdom, I haven't really got many smaller beads, but I'll just work with what we've got. But I think that's what I love about the Tree of Life, is it's just so open to interpretation. So I'm going to actually anchor that in between. Okay. And then we're going to shimmy on up a little bit more. So we're going to twist a little bit more, and then we'll bring out another couple of branches. Now, I don't know if you remember last week, if you find that you've put too many branches on, it's pretty easy to cut them out or just twirl them. Apologies about that. I actually thought I put my phone on silent, but obviously not. Right, so I'm twisting those. And what you can always do as well is, if you've got two, let's try it, trim them down. If you've got holes that are big enough to take both wires, like this one is, you can put both wires into the bead, like so. There we go. And then I'd be inclined to sort of wrap it separately if you can. 1, 2. Wrap that under there. So I'll cut those off, so you keep going. Now I'm just going to see, bear with me, if I can just, I'm still here. I was trying to turn my notifications off, but I think I'll just turn the video off by accident. Sorry about that. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look at your comments in a second, just to see if there's anything that you want any clarification of. Right, so I'm pulling out 2 again. Oh, let's zoom in. So you can see how quickly, I know obviously I did some of it earlier, but you can start pulling this over now. And let's just pop some more beads in there. But I hope you're all having a little chat amongst yourselves. I'm always really conscious of doing long tutorials, because I just, I get a bit concerned that it's not very interesting for you. Right, okay, so there we are. We're still working through that. Anchor that. I'm just doing one full wrap, and again, like I said, I'm so sorry, because I am so sorry about that. For some reason, I've not got a very good connection here tonight, so I do hope you're able to rejoin me, but unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to see your comments until we finish the live tutorial. So I will have to go back and address your comments. I can't see anybody coming back on. So I am just going to carry on with this until I wait for you all to come back. Oh, yeah, you're gradually here. Please do pop a note in the comments to say you're back. Oh, there we go. Oh, hi Trisha. I'm ever so sorry. it's my my connection, and I was fiddling with my phone as well. I probably didn't do myself any favours there at all. I've got a couple of you joining. Thank you so much for coming back on. I am nearly finished. So I've got 7 of you showing at the moment. We had a lot more than that. I do hope you all managed to come back, and do pop me a note back in the thread if you're able to join me again. Got more coming on. It all takes time. Right, I'm going to leave it at that, and I am going to zoom back in just to finish off this last little bit. So at least if any of you couldn't hop back on, you can catch this up on replay. So this is where I'm at. I'm left with just 4 strands here. So again, I am just going to twist these 4, and I'm going to separate them so we've got 2 one side to another, and I think I'm going to double up on these as well. So I'm going to trim these down, but do let me know if you've got any questions. I will go back into the main thread. I hope it saved the previous one. I'm pretty sure it would have done. If not, we're going to have to start all over again. But not tonight. That's really thrown me out of kilter now, that has. It's not working. I can't see any more comments coming up. Okay, there we go. And you can wrap them together if you want to, but I just think it will be a little bit neater to actually do it individually. Right, last group. There we go. I am going to do these separately. So really, this is just let it form organically is what I'd say. Is don't try and be too uniform with the tree of life. Because if you're too uniform, it just doesn't look that natural. Right. I honestly don't think I need any more on that one. So I think what I'll do is I'll just show you how, and again, how we make our swirly thing. Do it? Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will add another one in. Right, last one, and then we're going to trim them off, and then we're going to do step 2 next week. We'll be doing the hanger at the top and the beaded bit at the top, and doing the twirly bit at the bottom. The little gizzy bit at the bottom. Right, there we go. I think that needs anchoring a little bit more. Okay, let's just zoom in so that you can see a bit more. So I'm going to cut all of these off now. So flat part against to get a nice good trim in. Make sure you don't trim any of the work that you did earlier. There we go. And then what I would do is I would then go around all of those tails and just take time to flatten them. All right, so there we are. So you can obviously play around with that to change how it is. But that's such a pretty, vibrant wall hanging. And like I say, you just make it as you want to. So next week, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at making the twizzly beaded bit at the bottom. And then we're going to look at how we make these decorative hangers as well. So let's zoom out. Right, I don't think that I'm picking up any of your comments, unfortunately. I do seem to have been having a blip on my Facebook feed this week. So I'm going to go back out in a second once we've finished and just interact with you all. I really don't like it when I can't connect, because it's lovely to feel you here with me, and when the comments don't come through, it just doesn't have the same feeling. Anyway, let's just talk you through the giveaway. So like I said before, do make sure that you give me a thumbs up so that I know you were present, and do pop me a note in the comments. So what you've actually got in the giveaway this week. So I always have one winner, and it has to be from watching the live, not on replay. And basically I send this to you. If there's anything you want to order at the same time as receiving your parcel, you will get free P&P on your order. So you've got wire, thick wire for the Suncatcher, the thin wire, some of the vibrant seed beads, and some fluorite gemstones as well. So do make sure you tune in for the second part. I'm just going to quickly show you the PDF as well. So the PDF comes with all the written instructions, and I think more importantly as well, I think a lot of us crafters are quite visual, aren't we? You've got step-by-step instructions, and you've got 3 pages. There's 30 mini photographs that take you step by step as well. I think that's it for now. Let me just show you how we've done. Let me know whether or not it's given you any inspiration. This one is a wee bit big for a pendant, hence why we're going for the Suncatcher with that. So do be sure to tune in for next week's episode, and do pop me a note in the comments if you'd like me to do the heart tree of life as well. That is in the inspirations post, where I've shown you all the different tree of life that I've made. Well, not all of them, just some of them. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Sorry for the little blip this evening, and I will see you on Sunday for the latest news and updates. Bye.